Hello, I am currently at a lodge or a cabin where I will stay for 3 days. I want to close the year off for myself, with no distractions, celebrating and reflecting back on 2024, but also making clear what I want to do in 2025 and make the necessary preparations for it. So I will look back at what I've done this year. What have I achieved? What were my highlights and why? What were my low moments and why? Where am I standing at the moment? Who am I right now? And who do I want to become? And many, many more other questions that I will ask myself, and I will answer them. So I will not be able to do everything in just 3 days. I've done some groundwork this week and I will build it up during these 3 days and then finish everything up back at home, just putting the cherry on top. For now, I'm going to take a shower and take a heavenly bath and do some skincare and then read up on the book The 12-Week Year. I feel very calm, but also a bit uncomfortable because my shoes are soaking wet. I do have a bit of a cold, so maybe this is not the best idea to do. My shoes are drying and I've put on some cozy socks. I freshened up, I got my nice cup of tea, and I'm going to go over the things that I want to do for today. So I'm going to start with reading the 12-week year book. I already read a couple of chapters, but I want to finish this book completely, at least the theoretical part, and then I will make my own 12-week year plan for the first quarter of 2025. But before I can build on that, I need to have a clear vision for what I want in 2025, but also for the even longer term. So I'm going to spend time on making that clear for myself. I want to do it the right way this time. I'm also going to do more reflecting on 2024. I already did some groundwork for that, but I want to go more into detail and more into depth. And I really want to celebrate it. So I will focus on that today. It is currently 7 p.m. and I haven't eaten all day. And I wanted to get out of that cabin for a little bit. So I went to the supermarket, to the food corner, and got myself a nice pizza. And in the meanwhile, I'm going to work on my vision. So in the book, it has kind of like an exercise to make your vision clear. So I have to list down my aspirational vision, my 3-year vision, and my 10-year vision for myself. I lost my microphone. I had it attached to my coat and I was done with talking and filming. But I left it on and I forgot to put it back, and then I was busy with all kinds of things, and I think eventually it just shoved off. Also, I lost a gel nail. It's going good. I just finished reflecting back on this year in depth and detail, and I am very proud of myself at what I've done this year and the things that I've achieved, the way that I've improved, and I've changed quite a bit. I've done things that I never thought I would ever do or ever thought that I could even achieve. And I've done that this year. For example, I never thought that I would start a YouTube channel and make actual videos with me in full frame. I always wanted to start a YouTube channel like many years ago, but I never really did. I was way too insecure for that, and I was like, oh, I do not have skills, and you know, I had many excuses. I did that this year as well, actually. I wanted to start in April, and I was like, I don't know how to edit, how to film. I don't have a professional camera. I want to make it cinematic, but I've never done anything like that. I don't know how to do certain angles or to make things interesting, how to structure it and stuff like that. And I was like practicing a little bit on my phone, but I was constantly procrastinating. I had so much fear in me to do this because I am a perfectionist, and if I don't do things the correct way immediately, then I can feel like a huge failure. And I really had to let that go. One day I said, you're just going to do it. You're just going to do it. And know that your videos are going to suck at the beginning. Probably your first 20, 30, maybe even first 50 videos are going to suck and barely anybody is going to watch it. That is okay. I will develop over time and I will make better videos of better quality and more interesting and more entertaining. At least that's what I want. Something that I've achieved, by the way, that I thought was not attainable and thought I could not accomplish at all, is to not get so emotional anymore, especially crying a lot. I used to cry over the littlest of things. I will get into my feelings way too quickly and I throw myself pity parties way too much, which is very dumb. So I got into a vicious cycle and I did not want to have that anymore. So I was working on that this year. I kid you not, the amounts of times that I've cried this year, I can count them on my two hands. That to me is a breakthrough and such a major improvement. That being said, I did get emotional and I did cry when I was looking back at this year and was reflecting. This year has been the best year of my life, but I'm not done. I'm going to build further on this and I'm going to make my vision for 2025 very clear, so I know why I'm doing the things that I want to do and know where I'm going. Probably going to achieve way more than this year, and I'm probably going to do more things that I thought are not achievable or are not attainable or not realistic, but maybe I can make that a reality. I lost track of time. It is past midnight and I wanted to take a bath, but no way that I'm going to do that. It is way too late. So I'm going to bed. Another day tomorrow. Planning for today. I'm going to round off making my vision very clear for next year and for the next 3 years. I already made my vision for the long term. I am going to deliberate if I'm going to continue the game plan that I have at the moment, so the one that consists of the 4 components and some additional things. Because honestly, I don't see myself doing that for a very long time. And when I think about the original plan that I had at the beginning, that was a good plan. I just wanted things too much too fast and I got overwhelmed quite quickly, so I needed to switch gears, so I came up with the new plan. So I'm going to brainstorm what I'm going to do with that. I'm going to a viewpoint, so I hope it's not foggy. It's been foggy the entire time, and I'm going to look for some pictures and some quotes for my vision board, which I'm going to make when I'm back home. I made my vision clear for next year and for the upcoming 3 years. It took me a little bit longer than I wanted because in an hour the sun is going to set. So I am going to the viewing point as soon as I can. So I did not realize that from the place where I parked my car that it is a 20-minute walk to the viewing point. So when I arrive it's probably still light out, but I cannot stay for long because then it will become dark. And if it's really too short, then I will just come back tomorrow. So I was not able to film anything between the last scene and now because my phone was at 2% and I was too afraid to use it. I was also afraid to use Google Maps, so I was a little bit stressed because I am not familiar with this area at all and I had to drive through multiple little country roads. But eventually I managed. I left with 38% by the way, and maybe I should have charged it fully, but I thought it could last me for 3 hours. But in not even an hour, it consumed 36%. But hey, I'm glad that I got back safely. And I'm charging my phone right now. I'm gonna make a cup of tea and then I go to the supermarket to grab myself a little bit of dinner. My phone is at 69%, which of course I did on purpose. So I'm going to the store. I really wanted to have sushi, but they were basically out. So I'm going to grab something else. I lost another one. So the stove needs a lighter and I do not have a lighter and I cannot find one, so I'm going to eat cold spaghetti. Pardon me, I meant linguine. First of all, I found my microphone. It was in my car, thank God. Second, I've been brainstorming about what to do with my current plan. It took some time, but I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to the original plan, but I'm going to link it to my 12-week year plan. I couldn't let go of the original plan. I find it such a good plan that I want to reinstate it. So I had a plan that consisted of 4 different categories, which were mainly based on the 4 pillars of health. So they were food, movement, habit building and behavior change, and mental health and sleep. And for each categories I would have weekly strategies. For example, with movement, walking 8,000 steps a day. I believe I started off with 6 strategies in total, and then very quickly that became 9. I was just adding things to the list while I was building up the other ones, or I would just eliminate them and I would replace them with something new and then add even more to it. So that was not great. And at the end of the week I would reflect on it, looking at what I've done, and then I was deciding what I wanted to do for the upcoming week. With some things I was building it up. So for example, with these steps a day, I believe I started out with 7,500 steps a day, and then the next week 8,000, and the week after that 8,500, and so on. There were some things that I just wanted to do repeatedly every week, and then some other things that I tried out but I didn't really like it that much, so I eliminated them and replaced it with something else. Yeah, so the original plan linked to the 12-week year plan. How is that going to work?
So for my 12-week year plan, I will have a maximum of 3 goals. I am not going to share all of them because I want to keep some things private, but I do know one goal that I would probably have repeatedly throughout the entire year, and that is a weight goal or a weight loss goal. And I know numbers are not everything, but in my case, and with my weight and me still being morbidly obese, I need to get my numbers down. Next to that, weight is very measurable. It is a cold hard fact, the amount of weight you weigh. I do not want it to be shallow though, and with the plan that is based on the 4 pillars of health and behavior change, I don't think it is going to be shallow. The way that I am not going to overwhelm myself is to have a maximum of 1 strategy for every category. I think I can execute it way better in this way. I will also alter the names of 2 categories. So it used to be habit building and behavior change. I will just call it behavior change, and with mental health and sleep I will just call it mental health. I'm going to do the most relaxing thing that I can think of: take a bath with a face mask on and cucumbers on my eyes. It's my last morning here and I don't want to go. This was a bit too short, just 3 days. I need an entire week. Even though I've done some groundwork at home, I would have preferred to have 1 entire week here. But that is for the next time. I was able to do quite a lot, so I'm quite happy with that. And then the last little things I will finish at home. And then we will start the new year fresh. I'm going back to the viewpoint. There she is, again. My phone is now fully charged, so I should not have any problems. It is quite windy and a bit rainy, and this thing is very wobbly, but nonetheless, it was worth it to come here, and it's a beautiful way to end this trip. You wouldn't think that I would end the video just by that without weighing myself. Let's check it out. That is a good way to end the year. That is just the cherry on top. I don't know what to say. I'm very happy, and of course I am not near where I want to be, but I'm getting closer and closer, so I'm gonna keep working on it. I hope you had a good 2024 as well, and if you haven't, I hope that 2025 will be a better year for you. If you are going to continue with your journey or you're going to start a new journey, I wish you all the best. Happy New Year, and I will see you soon.